Hi everybody, welcome to our Friday TNT, last day of the working week. Tomorrow we'll have our live program. That'll be between 9 and 10 a.m. Not exactly sure where I'm going to be doing it from at the moment, but there will be a live program. There will be plenty of things to talk about. So join us then. On Sunday we've got our Grumpy Old Men program. Now, a bit of a warning from the editor of ASEANnow.com, posted on their Facebook page. George Anderson says, warning, be careful, there are scam electricity bills getting dropped in letterboxes. If you scan them and pay your money, it will end up in someone else's account. They should be purple, not blue for starters, but to be sure you can just load the PEA app and pay the bill directly from there. So plenty of reasons to be careful at the moment. This is what that bill looked like, the scam bill. Even if it looks like your usual bill, maybe just be very careful about paying it if you're going to pay it online. Pop down to the PEA office. I always pay at my local PEA office. Well, it's easy for me because they're just local. So be careful. And be careful when you go to the Phuket International Airport. Now, I was there just recently and noticed that Grab have now set up a formal kiosk out the front of the airport. Now, for years, the Phuket International Airport didn't allow the ride-sharing apps access into the airport. So you'd see people traipsing all their luggage across the car park to get outside where they'd meet with a Bolt or Grab or whoever you might be riding with. But they've allowed Grab to go in there. So I thought I'd better have a check now. How much does it cost to get from Phuket International Airport to Patong? And just across all the different varieties of opportunity to travel with Grab, the cost was about 780 baht. And my initial impression was that cost was very high, given that usually the Grab costs are all graded and nuanced depending on the type of ride that you're going to have. Then I went in and checked the actual prices from the taxis at the moment, given that at the moment you can't use a meter, or they don't use the meter, they're all set fees. And the cost to Patong up the top there, well, with a taxi it cost 800 baht. So by using a ride-hailing app, or in this case Grab, you're making a grand saving of 20 baht. Now, obviously, the agreement with Grab and the Phuket International Airport is, yeah, you can come in and set up a booth, but you're going to have to charge exactly the same price as the taxi cabal. So there you go, the bit of graft carrying on there at the Phuket International Airport. We go to this story now, and this is a follow-up to that Russian lady who was seen kicking on CCTV a store owner, a pregnant Thai woman who was 34 years old, and this is how it's all washed out. Russian tourist fined over assault, and a Russian tourist who kicked a pregnant shop owner in Koh Pha Ngan has been fined 500 baht and given a suspended 15-day jail sentence. Immigration authorities in Surat are considering whether her visa will be revoked due to the criminal offence. The 41-year-old admitted to kicking the shop owner, who is 8 months pregnant, on Monday in frustration after the latter asked her to take off her shoes before entering the shop. Meanwhile, the Interior Minister Anatin Charvitikun downplayed public concerns over a perceived increase in such incidents. And further down, their visa revocation, he said, is decided on a case-by-case basis, and not that every foreigner who breaks the law will end up being deported. So exactly how many foreigners might be behaving badly at the moment, and how many are being arrested and deported? Well, according to statistics compiled by the Royal Thai Police from last October until this month, so that's a 6-month sample, 614 foreigners faced legal action for committing a crime in Thailand. 98 were deported as a consequence. So 614 foreigners out of an estimated 14 or so million that have arrived during the last 6 months. A tiny proportion. And in many cases, police said these foreigners had been prosecuted for using nominees to hold shares on their behalf in a company set up with a hidden agenda to offer work permits to other foreigners. And then heading to the next story, and we go to thepatianews.com. And a triple shooting tragedy in Lopburi. Suspect arrested shortly afterwards. It happened on March the 20th at 8:30 p.m. when police received a shooting report from a house in Lopburi. As a result, there were 3 casualties reported. When they arrived at the scene, 3 men were still lying there covered in blood. The victims were publicly identified as a 54-year-old, a 48-year-old and a 28-year-old. And the police found a hammer with bloodstains near Siprai's body, and a pocket knife was found near Komson's body. And the suspect was publicly identified as a 34-year-old grandson-in-law of Siprai. And police quickly captured the suspect at a police checkpoint with a firearm allegedly used to commit the crimes. And the local leader, that's like a village leader, a Kamnan, further added that Siprai reportedly regularly used his house as a place for local teenagers to gather, take drugs and drink alcoholic beverages. And then Anawat, this is the suspect, further stated that Siprai used a hammer to initiate the assault first, and his 2 friends were laughing, causing him to become further infuriated. Anawat then shot them and denied any involvement in illicit substances, according to the police report. So a triple fatal shooting up there in Lopburi, but appears a suspect has been arrested and admitted to some of the charges. Our Friday TNT with a big thank you to our sponsor 5 Star Marine at 5starmarinephuket.com. If you want to go out on a bespoke chartered tour out to the islands of Phangar Bay, then I can highly recommend 5 Star Marine. Sean and his team do a great job, always get excellent reviews and reports. Heading now to a story from thepatianews.com. China takes top spot for Thailand's tourist arrivals. And this was at a meeting of the local tourist bureau, who said Thailand saw nearly 17 million domestic tourists in January alone, and this represented a 6.5% increase compared to the same period last year. This is local tourism. And Chonburi remained a popular tourist destination because it ranked among the top 5 most visited by Thai tourists. And the others in the top 5 for local tourists are Bangkok, Kanchanaburi, Phetchaburi and Prachapkirikan. And from January the 1st to March the 10th this year, which of the international tourists are the most populous? China emerged as the leading source country for international tourists, followed by Malaysia, Russia, South Korea and India. And that situation of the top 5 really hasn't changed very much over the past 6 months. So you'd think, well, Thai tourism is pretty happy and Thailand would be one of the happiest countries in the world. Well, this from Thai PBS, and it says Thailand officially a happier country this year. I think being called the land of smiles, people just assume that Thailand is a very happy country. But, well, here are the statistics. Thailand's been ranked as the 58th happiest country in the world, but it climbed 2 positions from last year. This is according to the World Happiness Report. Finland retained its title as the happiest country, followed by Denmark, Iceland, Sweden and Israel. Well, Israel stands out for several reasons there as an unlikely top 5. The other ones obviously in very cold northern European climates. What makes them so happy? Well, meanwhile, the least happy countries are Congo, Sierra Leone, Lesotho, Lebanon and Afghanistan. The ranking of 143 countries worldwide are calculated based on GDP per capita, social support, healthy life expectancy, freedom, generosity and corruption. Well, Thailand would have been doing so well until that last one. Well, these people certainly weren't very happy. Monks' brawl during ceremony sparks debate in Suratani, as published in ASEANnow.com. And a fight broke out between 2 monks in Suratani during a religious ceremony at a family's home, shocking the household and sparking widespread online debate. The incident was captured on video and shared on Facebook, and here's some of it, showing the monks exchanging blows in an unexpected turn of events. And the altercation occurred right before the morning meal when one seated monk stood up and threw a punch at another monk who was standing. The standing monk, taken by surprise, dropped his bowl of rice, which shattered on the floor before responding with punches of his own. And the family members present were stunned by the sight of the brawling monks as the scene unfolded amidst a setting meant for reverence and piety. This was reported by Calcite English originally. The comment section was quickly filled with reactions from both Buddhists and the general online community, many expressing dismay and disappointment at the behaviour of the two monks, deeming it highly inappropriate. Well, basically under the heading of monks behaving badly. We go to Calcite English and their Facebook page now, and a bit of an update. And reporting about one of His Majesty's estranged sons, AFP reporting that Vasharasorn, who grew up in the United States, says he wants to return to Thailand permanently after living abroad for more than 2 decades. On his 3rd visit to Thailand, he told the Bangkok Post he wanted to move back and intended to make his return permanent. And he said, "No one told me to come. I'm not representing anyone. I don't want to compete for anything. I have no resources, no power. I don't have aspirations beyond providing value in my own capacity." So he said a lot without necessarily saying anything. But of course, we'll keep on watching that story. We now go to the fire maps. Just a quick update on what's happening with the fires that are alight this morning. And good to see that in this case, Thailand looking a lot better than it has in the past. Those 3 arrows there, one pointing at fires in northern Myanmar, this one over here, quite a lot of fires in Laos and southern Laos, and then down here we've got an arrow pointing to the fires in Cambodia. The little white dot there is where Bangkok is. But as you can see, not that many fires in Thailand at the moment. Still, it didn't stop this phenomenon. Reported in Thai PBS World, Bangkok shrouded in mysterious smog late Wednesday night. Well, they could have really just taken out one word, Bangkok shrouded in smog late Wednesday night. And many people in and around Bangkok reported the smell of burning late Wednesday night. And the smell of something burning hashtag on X was top trending late last night, that's Wednesday night, and an advisor to the governor of Bangkok offered 3 possibilities. He said first is that the wind last night was unusually blowing onshore from the Gulf of Thailand. The second possibility is that a summer storm combined with a high pressure cell from the northeast region resulted in an increased accumulation of pollutants. And the third is increased moisture in the atmosphere. Nation Thailand, they put their oar in the water as well. NationThailand.com reporting expert assuages concerns over sulphur smell in Bangkok caused by air stillness. And an environment expert said the smell of sulphur in Bangkok was due to heavy air. And Sontai Katchawat explained the reason for the foul sulphur smell experienced by Bangkok residents, saying the smell followed heavy rains in many parts of Bangkok in the morning and in the afternoon. And when night fell, there was high humidity in the air, which had followed many days of hot weather in the capital. And with the air stillness, the PM2.5 particles, sulphur particles and carbon dioxide from car engines, the burning of weeds of farm byproducts and smoke from factories in Bangkok and surrounding provinces floated to accumulate the air layer of the Earth's atmosphere. So in other words, it was smog. And we go to Koh Chang now, and this story reported in BangkokPost.com. Legality of Koh Chang beach wall checked. That's a pretty chunky wall there. In fact, apart from its height, it's actually about 5 metres thick as well. More about that in a moment. And the Marine Office in this eastern province is checking the legality of a huge concrete wall built on the beach near a seaside hotel on Koh Chang. The Marine Office did not permit the construction of the wall, according to the local director, after inspecting the concrete structure near the Koh Chang Grand View Hotel. And the manager of the hotel told him that the hotel had land right documents that supported the construction of the wall. But the manager was asked to produce the document for examination within 7 days, otherwise he would order the removal of the structure. And the concrete wall's about 5 metres wide, 12 metres long and 5 metres tall. It's connected by steps to the beach. There are also 2 more sets of steps to the beach near the hotel. And the story alludes to the Phuket incident. That's the Swiss man and the steps out the front of his villa, or the villa he was renting, which the steps of which had been built on a public beach. And since the Phuket incident, people have come forward in a number of beachside communities to complain about blocked access and illegal structures. And there's a photo there. I've even given you an arrow so you can see exactly where it is. That's a pretty chunky piece of concrete. And we can also see on Google Maps an overhead view. We zoom into the Koh Chang Grand View Resort and you can see that quite massive concrete structure built on the public beach out the front. And just the same as the steps out the front of the Swiss man's villa in Phuket, pretty sure that concrete structure is going to be removed. But man, that's a massive concrete structure. You really would have thought they would have crossed their T's and dotted their I's before calling in the other concrete trucks, and quite a few trucks it would have been as well. But with that, I thank you very much for watching. Thanks to our sponsor, 5starmarinephuket.com, an invitation to please subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you're a bit more up to date with things happening around Thailand. I'll see you on the live program tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Thai time. Otherwise, have a great Friday and see you later.